Hi, everybody. My name is Denise Smith, and welcome to a new episode of All Things Small Business. Tonight, we are talking to two very different types of businesses or entrepreneurs who run two very different types of businesses. We're going to be learning from a coach, and we're going to be learning from someone who has just opened up a restaurant and lounge. So, grab your popcorn. Go tell a friend, tune in, and join the conversation. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining in on this episode of All Things Small Business. My first guest is a certified coach, career consultant, best-selling author, and speaker. And she's going to be talking about everything that she does. And I'm just going to bring her up right now. Her name is Jennifer Bryant. Reaching Within is the name of her company. Hey, Jennifer.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How's everything going? Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Everything is fabulous, and the weather outside today even makes me feel even better, right? It was so nice outside.
Oh, I've been waiting for this day. Okay. Let's just keep it coming. Keep it coming. Come on, Lord. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Keep it coming.
Yes.
Yes.
So, you're a career coach. Tell us about reaching within and what that's all about.
So, Reaching Within is about helping mid level corporate women accelerate to the next level in their careers. And I help women overcome personal challenges to achieve professional success. And I do that through various ways, leadership coaching, personal coaching. And I have services. My company has services such as resume updates, resume reviews, interviewing preparation. It's really important in terms of how people can shift and pivot during the virtual setting, because sometimes women, or just people in general, when they are applying for jobs, they don't necessarily pivot to this virtual environment, and so it does require some coaching.
Okay. Okay. So, and I want to really delve into that because we as women, I'm glad that you're focused on women, right? We as women, we need a lot of support. But before we get into that, can you just talk about what made you even want to go down that path? What made you want to become an entrepreneur? What led you to this space today?
So, what led me to this space, and I do want to say this, during I have a full-time job
Mhm.
um, focused on people and culture and diverse inclusion belonging. And then I have a part-time business in which I focus on, as I mentioned, elevating women. And what got me into this business is this: I had my share of challenges in the corporate space. A lot of times I was the only Black woman
Uh-oh.
at the table when I was in my 20s. Now that was decades ago. We're back. We're back.
Okay.
Technology, you just pivot and keep it going.
Right.
Pivot, excuse me, and just keep it going.
That
So
listen, I mean, pivot is the word for 2020 and 2021. So great job.
we are continuing it in
Yeah.
2022. And
Mm-hmm.
so what I was saying was that, I had my own share of challenges when I was in my 20s, being the only Black young woman sitting at the table across from white males who were on their second or third career. And
Mm-hmm.
so facing the professional challenges and me having to overcome some serious personal traumas, I made it my business that right before I retired from the federal government, before the age of 50, I decided that I wanted to help others who were silently, um, they were really going through it inside internally,
Mm-hmm.
and it was hard for a lot of women to figure out what barriers were standing in their way to make it to the next level. And
Mm-hmm.
so I help women with their
Okay, here we go
mental
again.
uh, mindset framing.
Mm-hmm. I think we went through a little bit of breaking up there again. I think we're still doing that. Jennifer, you there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. I think we were going through a little bit of some technological challenges again.
That's okay.
Okay. So maybe you could go back over what you were just saying again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know where it stopped at, but I just was sharing that I help women with their mental reframing and mental mindset and help
Mm-hmm.
push them through
Right.
whatever barriers may be standing in their way to elevate to the next level in their careers, whether it's through career transition or if it's a promotion, but really getting down to the bottom of what the barriers are. And you had asked me why did I decide to open up my business or become an entrepreneur, because I wanted to help others, because I've already traveled the road
Mm-hmm.
and providing them the tips and the tools and the steps and techniques in order to how to navigate the corporate environment.
Okay, so let's talk about that. What are some of those barriers or some of those challenges that women face?
So I will say this: some of the challenges are not recognizing and realizing their value, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once they realize their value, I will also say what their belief systems are,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the belief systems were ingrained in us as children. And rightly or wrongly, or whatever it could be, sometimes those mindsets are not the correct mindsets and it gets you stuck.
Okay.
And so, working with each client through whatever those challenges may be.
So and okay, so how do you work with them? Because you're right. We grow up a certain way, and oftentimes we're not open to change. I know change can be very difficult for me. And so how do we get uh women who professional women to change the mindset from saying, I can't do this, to I can do this, or I can change the way um I do certain things.
So what I will say is that I focus women on what they do well.
Mhm.
And I start talking about the gifts and their talents.
Okay.
What do people ask them to do the most of? How do they feel? Like, what are those things that they feel that they bring to the marketplace? What do they consider to be their positive?
Mhm.
and then we work, and I work with women through those, and then I ask them to provide some outcomes from what they do well. So if they've completed a latest project at
Mhm.
work,
Mhm.
or and then I start talking through their competencies that they may have used: problem solving, judgment, leadership, communication, whatever those may be. And then I talk that through with them to understand that they do add a lot of value to
Mhm.
the marketplace. And
Mhm.
then we start talking about that, and then they're like, oh, okay. And
Mhm.
so there's a shift that
Mhm.
goes on, because if you're constantly being told negative things about yourself, it's
Sure.
sometimes hard to hear the positive. But
Right.
I hope that's the whole point of reaching within. I help them to reach within to pull out those great assets that they bring to the marketplace.
Um, what are some other challenges that they face, and how can women? Do you think that we've always said that we don't do enough to support each other. And some women, we tend to be in competition with each other. But we've been saying that for a while now. And then you hear a lot of people who will say, we need to really support each other. We need to lift each other up. We go through the trenches. We are the supporters and the strength behind our men, and we need to just band together and just really support each other. Do you think we're listening? Do you think we're seeing a change where women really are starting to really see the light, and how, and how we're supposed to just really just be there for each other?
I'm seeing it in pockets, to be honest with you. I see it in pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you personally that I have more collaboration with those women who do not look like me.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Do tell.
I do. And it's been that way throughout my career.
Uh-huh.
And even, the last few years, I love, engaging and collaborating with the women that are in my community. But
Sure.
and this won't be popular. I already know it's not going to be popular what I'm going to say,
Who
but
cares?
it's the truth, right? It's
Right,
the
right.
truth. It's
Yeah.
my truth. It's my
Mm-hmm.
truth. And
Okay.
so what I've observed is that there's a lot of folks, they want you to support them,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't want to support your
Sure.
business.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
they want to get money from you, but as soon as you ask them to support something of yours, they
Mm-hmm.
disappear.
Yeah.
I've
How do we?
noticed that behavior.
Yeah. And so, what do you think needs to happen to make that change?
One
Aside
conversation at a
one conversation.
time. One
Okay.
conversation. Because what I have been, because what I pride myself on is authenticity. And
Mm-hmm.
so whenever those type of situations have occurred with me,
Mm-hmm.
I have, if I value the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
I call the person up and I have the conversation. I'm like, this is how this situation made me feel.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk through it. And what I also will say to help is, as you're talking to other women, Black women in the community, is
Mm-hmm.
to say, how can I support you?
Okay.
Just simply asking,
Mm-hmm.
how can I support you?
You
That
know,
can go a long way.
yeah, it can. It can. It can. But we
And
have to.
show up, and show up.
Mhm. Yeah, offer it and then actually mean it, and
Right.
do it, right? Make the commitment and then follow through.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, what types of careers um do you focus on? A specific type of career when it comes to your career coaching for women, or is it in general? I mean, or is there a specific are there specific disciplines that you focus on?
So what I will say is I've focused on those in the mid-career
Mhm,
area.
mhm,
So it could be those who are in the federal government, who may be program analysts, they may be first-time supervisors. During the period of when COVID hit, I had
mhm.
spent the last 2 years helping people get back to work
Okay.
by updating their resumes, helping them with the interviewing preparation.
Mhm,
And what I noticed was there was at one period of time, it was a whole trend of
mhm,
those 911 operators who
mhm,
were trying to just get away from there and
mhm,
start doing admin jobs. They
mhm.
wanted to transition off of the first line, front line to get into admin positions.
Sure.
So I help with federal government jobs. I also help those who are trying to transition into senior leadership positions, like you're in the federal government, your GS 14 and 15. I leverage my time that I spent in the government, as I mentioned, nearly 31 years.
Mhm. Wow. Okay.
Mhm. Yep. Yep.
Um, you know, federal government is a space that it's like sometimes it can be challenging to even enter that space. Would you agree?
Very. It's
Yeah.
the
Mhm,
entry is challenging. It's
mhm,
very challenging because you really I tell people don't give up in
mhm,
terms of applying.
mhm,
It may take 200 applications. It may
mhm.
be 20. It's opportunity, timing, and fit. Like
Yeah.
everything has to align.
Mhm, mhm. So let's talk about how you started your business. Okay, and I do want to talk more about the woman aspect of it. But what steps did you take to start your business, and how there's all types of coaching, right? Um, how did you come to the career aspect of coaching?
So, you're right. The coaching industry is pretty saturated.
Mhm,
And what I wanted to do was offer a service that will fill a gap in the community.
mhm,
And so I've I had differentials to leverage.
mhm,
And one of my differentials to leverage as part of my company was the experience that I brought from being in the government, rising from clerk typist
mhm.
to executive, senior executive,
Wow.
certified senior executive. And that's pretty tough and hard to do.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so I take my experience of being able to rise in the government at each of those levels,
Mhm.
so that therefore I can bring my firsthand experience
Mhm.
to those women who are interested in a federal government career.
Okay.
Um, there's something that I always say too, is one of my mottos.
Uh-oh, I think we're stuck
Um,
again.
mantra is you're interviewing every
I'm sorry. I think I heard mantra in there.
yeah, one of my mantras and one of my mantras is you are interviewing every day. And
Okay.
so when I got my first government job, I was on the subway
Mhm.
and I was talking to a lady and we just had general conversation.
Mhm.
And when it was time to get off of my stop, she asked me my name, asked me where I was going. I told her I was going to a job fair. She told me her name and
Mhm.
she told me that I was hired.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this is something that I tell my clients all the time,
Mhm.
which is you just never know
Mhm.
where an opportunity will present itself. So always know that you're interviewing every day.
That's a really good way to look at things. Its presentation is everything. Um, Interviewing every day. I like that aspect of it, or looking at it from that perspective, because you really have to be conscious of who you're talking to and who your audience is at all times. And you have to be able to learn how to, what we say, pivot, depending on the environment that you're in, the setting that is that you're in. So yeah, I really like that. So let me just ask you a question, right? For anybody who would be looking into getting into coaching, what advice do you have for them?
My advice is this, and I'll go back to something I said a few moments ago about the coaching world being saturated and how you need to differentiate yourself from others.
Mhm.
Another differential that I have is that I'm a certified coach. There are some folks who wake up and tomorrow or the next day and say, I'm a coach and I'm going to call myself a coach without going through the proper training. The
Okay.
International Coaching Federation is
Okay.
a widely known accredited organization that gives you your certification, or you earn your certification by
Mhm.
going through their program.
Mhm.
And so that's how you can get started, but you really need to hone in on your niche. You really need to hone in on your target market. And I
Mhm.
know that you were asking me a question, about how did I get started in my small business. I will tell you that this year will mark the 5th year.
Mhm.
Each year I'm learning something new. I'm doing retrospections,
Mhm.
and I'm saying, okay, what helped me last year? What didn't help me last year? How
Yeah.
what seasons did I learn? I mean, did I get the most earnings? What did I do in that season?
Okay.
The other piece is having a business plan, just
Yeah.
making sure that you have a business plan,
Mhm.
um, that you're looking at your business plan, that you're looking at your financial systems, like I said, to take a look at what systems you have in place and
Mhm.
doing your retros to see, okay, where and how did I make the most money?
Mm. Mm. So you would say that when it comes to coaching and probably any kind of business, or let me just say, let me not say put that in put those words out there in your mouth. Let me ask, would you say that when it comes to coaching and any other type of business, then um, are you supposed to focus on what you love to do or what is needed out there in the atmosphere?
I would say it's a combination,
Mhm.
right? And there may be some who may not agree, but it comes down to the latter part.
Mhm.
What problem are you trying
Oh, I'm so sorry I
to
can't hear you.
solve?
It's gonna come back. You there? Not
Yes, I'm here. Are you there?
okay, I'm here. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
And
can you start over?
so it comes down to what problem are you trying to solve?
Mhm.
And how can you bring your gifts and talents to the
Mhm.
marketplace to
Mhm.
solve it?
Mm.
And so what I found over the 5 years, people don't necessarily like the squishy stuff.
Mhm.
And what I mean by that, "Oh, you're a coach." What does that even mean? But
Right.
once you start saying, "I'm here to get you hired.
Mhm.
I'm here to help you get hired. I'm
Mhm.
here to position you so your name can show up on the best qualified list in the federal government. I'm
Okay.
here to make sure you get interviews."
Mhm.
Oh, that sounds a lot different than me
Mm.
saying I'm a career, specialist or a career coach.
Sure. Sure.
People
Okay.
respond to that.
Okay. So as a business owner, as an entrepreneur who is a career coach for women, how do you find your clients? And is there a certain age group that you're targeting?
So there is a certain age group that I am targeting.
Mhm.
I typically am looking at those who are 35 to 45 years old.
Oh,
And I'm not saying that I don't service other people, but
sure.
that's the group that I go for.
And
And then
why do you go for that age group?
because typically those are mid-career.
Okay.
That age group is typically mid-career. They've gone through college
Mm-hmm.
mostly, or some type of program, or they've had some experiences in life. They usually have maybe 10 or 15 years under their belt with working. And so that's why I go with them.
Okay. Okay. And how do you find them?
I find them on Facebook. I get a lot of responses from Facebook. I
Okay.
also find them on Instagram. I find them on LinkedIn, but I also find them through my Google business link.
Oh, what is that?
So Google offers a free side to them where you can set up your Google page. And when people go in and search for career coach or coaching, you want your name to pop up at the top in the search. You know how when you search on your own looking for different
Right.
things, different products and services. And so
Right.
I usually ask people, I'm like, how did you find me? And they'll say Google, or they'll say they saw me on Facebook or whatever, because I am interested to know. And the other piece too, when I talk about doing a retro, I go in my back office, and because I send out a weekly newsletter, and I kind of take a look at how many people are hitting my site, how many people are opening my page, and then I go from there. I also have a client system, a CSM system as well,
Okay.
to for marketing purposes. I
Okay.
actually get clients that way.
Okay. Okay. Can you explain that a little bit more? What a CSM system is?
So that is you know how people use MailChimp, or they use there's a company that I was with called NowSite, where you can go in and you run your target your clients through that way. You set it up, and you are sending when you send out messages, it goes out to your target audience. So in
Okay.
the back office, you're setting up certain specs,
Okay.
certain specs that you're targeting.
Okay. Okay. And you said how you find your clients through Facebook, some through Instagram, some through LinkedIn, and then the,
Business.
the Google business. So are they looking for you, or or someone with your services, or are you finding people out there who, need the service?
It's a combination.
Okay.
Mostly people are coming looking for me.
Okay.
I'm also on Thumbtack as well as in service. Yep,
Okay.
some there as well.
How
And
effective how much of your business comes from there? Because as a photographer, I signed up for for Thumbtack. I don't use it as much as I probably could.
yeah, admittedly over the last probably 9 months, I haven't
Mhm.
as well, but I have gotten speaking engagements through there. I have gotten customers, clients. I mean, I get leads all the time. I
Okay.
get leads to respond to, but you also know they charge a fee too, right? So
Right. Mhm. Of course, because they're a business too.
they are a business too. But
Yeah.
yes, I get clients through there,
Mhm.
but I also get clients through referrals. So if I do resume for a couple of people, they're pretty satisfied,
Mhm.
I get it that way, and then I offer them a discount on a service, their next service with me. And
Yeah.
then other ways that I get services through media,
Uh-huh.
or speaking engagements like with you here.
Mhm.
I recently was WTOP did a story on me. So
Yes.
I,
Congratulations on that.
thank you,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
awesome. WTOP is a big deal.
It's a huge, yeah, I saw it as a huge deal. It's a big
Yes.
deal. And people say, yeah, I heard about you from WTOP. The
Mhm.
other piece too is that I was on WUSA Channel
Mhm.
9 as well.
Okay.
Um, Particularly around the time when COVID first hit,
Okay.
because I was trying to solve a problem, and I'm
Mhm.
continuing to solve a problem,
Yeah.
helping people get back to work. And
Right.
people don't realize that they bring a lot to the marketplace. They bring a
Yeah.
lot.
Mhm. Listen, I really want to thank you for coming on here today. Is there anything that you would like to make sure that you share before we go on to our next guest? And also, how can people contact you other than this Instagram site here? Look, you said you used the word pivot, right? Remember in the beginning, I was having an issue with the lower thirds. I was working on that through this show, so I was pivoting, right? So give kudos to me.
Big time kudos to you. And here's the thing. I said, I'm going to remain calm. I'm going to remain calm.
I'm going to remain calm too.
There is no need for both of us to panic or anything like that. So what I will say is that for people, you add value. You add lots of value to the marketplace. And I know I said that before, but I feel like I need to drive this home. Mm-hmm. We all have gifts and talents, and we can solve problems. And your talent is needed to help solve problems. And so folks can reach out to me on my website at www.reachingwithinempowerment.com.
Awesome. Thank you again, Jennifer. I'm so happy that we finally got this show going with you.
Yes. If people only knew the history, right?
I know. We're going to have you back on again sometime really soon, because we really do need people like you who work with women. We are women. We are the bomb.com, and we need people saying that, right?
And show up in confidence, right? And another saying I say, show up unashamed, unapologetic, and confidently. Yes.
Jennifer Bryant, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care.
All right, you too. All right. Okay, let me take this off of the screen. Oh, I'm so excited. That was a really great conversation. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And now I am so excited about this new establishment that is right here in my community, in my backyard. So I'm going to bring up business owner Asong, and I'm sure he's going to tell you what his full name is, but he is the owner of the Famous Lounge, which is a newly opened restaurant and lounge over in the Villages of Marlboro. So let me bring up NJ. Hey.
Hi, Dennis. It is wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. I am so excited. I can't tell you. I've been waiting for something to hit that part of that shop.
Right in your neighborhood, huh?
Yes, you're right in my neighborhood. Thank you so much. Right. Thank you for investing in Prince George's County, in Upper Marlboro, in the Villages of Marlboro.
That's right. Let me tell you, you call it the Villages of Marlboro, call it the Vegas of Maryland now.
Okay. We're going to have some, well, right. I don't know about that, but you know, I was going to say, we're going to have some slot machines coming in here, but I don't. Oh, that's awesome. So let me, is this location your only location right now? Tell me about the Famous Lounge.
Right. Well, Dennis, thank you so much for having me. I'm so thankful. I was excited, looking forward to today. Thank you for building this platform. I want to, speak to Jennifer, the previous speaker, with reaching within. It is a beautiful concept. It really connects to me specifically because my background is HR. I worked for the past, before becoming a full-time entrepreneur, I was in Baltimore City as the HR business partner for DHR and the director of HR for DOT. So the work she does about supporting people, coaching them to go through, just the process of having a job, actually having a job and keeping it, I think it is so important in our society, and helping young girls and folks around the community to do that. It is such a wonderful business. So kudos to her. Wow. And thanks for having her as well. Such wonderful. I enjoyed that conversation. So Famous Lounge. Yeah. Famous Lounge is, what we try to consider it an upscale Afro-Caribbean an American lounge that provides entertainment. And that is a concept that we have. It has been a long journey, but it doesn't start with Famous. Our journey in the restaurant business actually started with our most popular lounge, which is called Spectrum Lounge. And you'll be happy to hear that it's still in Prince George's County because we love this county so much. So we started Spectrum Lounge four years ago, in Beltsville, right where Route One meets up with Rhode Island, and it has just been a great business so far. The community has responded to Spectrum with love and support,
Okay.
and it is really more Afrocentric
Mm-hmm.
in the culture and the music, the food, and
Mm-hmm.
we've had great support. And 4 years later, we came through a line and thought, Upper Marlboro is the next place to go. And
Yes, yes. What took you so long?
and then it took us, it was right in the heart of the pandemic, and we said,
Yeah.
there's always a better bend,
Mhm,
light at the end of the tunnel. And we kept
mhm.
we kept pushing, and you know 2 months ago we started the wheels rolling. 2 weeks ago we had folks like you come to support us in the grand opening, and so far so good. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. The restaurant business or the food service business is quite an interesting
Right,
line of business
right,
here in Prince George's County, right? What's that process like for you? I mean, getting, started
right,
from
right.
beginning to, where
When it comes to restaurants, bars, lounges, there are top three things, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And for any person within this industry would tell you the top three things is location, location, location.
Right.
Once you get it right, you're 80% in. you
Mhm,
know so for us, that's really the first start,
mhm,
trying to identify a location where you can provide a service that matches the audience,
mhm,
because every location has a community. The
mhm,
real question is, what do you bring to that community? What value do you add to that community? And
mhm,
that's very important, because like they say, the customers are your biggest marketers, right? And once you provide value to them, they're going to take your business and run with it. So being able to provide a business where the community really feels valued or values the business as a business which is needed within the community is very important for us. And for you to do that, you have to get a good location, and pretty much identify the kind of community that is within that location and tailor to their needs. For us, it was the same thing. I would say, we've had it, you know, I wouldn't say much easier, just because we're in Prince George's County. But Prince George's County has grown to be very business friendly. You
mhm,
know, in terms of getting licenses approved. You know, uh, uh, um, it is a process which is very encouraging, because
mhm,
they're responsive. Though they're more responsive than someone would expect from local government. And
mhm,
even when they come out and there's a mistake, they'll tell you
mhm.
what to do, what not to do,
Okay.
encouragement and stuff. You don't get a sentiment of somebody stifling you or stifling your growth. You know
Mhm,
what I mean? Obviously, they are strict because you got to be in compliance,
mhm,
for safety reasons or other reasons.
mhm,
But it's a very business centric county,
mhm.
and that I really applaud the county leaders for putting in place that structure. So for us, that has been our experience so far.
Okay, good. I'm so glad that you feel that way. So let's talk about that. When you Okay, so let's just start here. You decided that you wanted to open up an establishment over here in Upper Marlboro.
Right.
Did you write a business plan for that?
I read somewhere and they said no business plan works.
Okay.
A business plan is what they'll teach you in school. A business is on the ground. Obviously, it's a business plan, which is you thinking about, how to go about it, your thoughts and everything. But for us, um, we kind of learned on the job in so many ways.
Mhm,
We looked at other businesses. Swiley be one of our top
mhm,
mentors, in the owner of Swiley, and just the business model that
mhm.
we looked at what they did. We looked at the kind of service they provided. We looked at just the concept of which they did, and say, this is good. And
Okay.
how can we pull strength from that to
Mhm,
build a great business for us.
mhm,
And for Famous Lounge, what was really big for us again was the location, but also the community. Or look at the community. I said, if you look at the data within that community, the income levels for for every individual within that community is going off the roof, right? You
Mm-hmm.
look at the home market or the real estate market with homes within that community is going off the roof, and they begin to ask yourself a question like, well, these folks have money, they are moving into this community. Well, where are they going to have a good time?
Yeah.
They
Right.
must be going somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and it's probably Silver Spring
Mm-hmm.
or DC,
Right.
and you look at it and say, okay, but what does the community make predominantly? What kind of business can you build and
Mm-hmm.
tailor towards that business? So to us, that was it. But we also understood that it was a community with professionals predominantly. At least that's the kind of audience we wanted to tailor towards. So you
Mm-hmm.
ask yourself, what kind of business do you build for that kind of young professionals? Government employees who want to leave work at 3 p.m., leave work at 4 p.m., want to be able to have a good happy hour, grab a margarita, listen to some music, and go home
Mm-hmm.
early enough, still to be and be up early the next morning to be at work.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that was our business plan, and I've been blessed. I've been blessed within my business, journey with having great partners. I mean, these are not partners to me. These are brothers. I have my partner Valerie Holmes, which we started 4 years ago with Spectrum Lounge. Is a brother to me.
Mm-hmm.
Are just unbelievably talented and so intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Business savvy, and we built something great. And at Famous Lounge, we have Mike E13, just a great partner with us. Michelle, great partners that we come together to build a good business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a partnership that is really just built on true friendship, true love, and respect. We want goal to build a business that provides value to the community. You will hear I echo the word value because I think that is all that is in a business.
So you mentioned partners. So you have partners in
Yes, I
this
do.
venture right here.
Yes,
Okay. I've often heard people say, never do business with friends,
right,
family.
right.
Are you ignoring that advice?
100%.
Okay.
100%. And I tell people, and it has been one of the recurring questions that I have is, how did you find a partner? How do you guys work so good?
Right.
And for me is, well, as I would always say, it's just a blessing.
Mhm.
I encourage partnerships a whole lot because business can really soak you in.
Mhm.
But if you have a family, you have to be able to balance it. You only balance it when you have support,
Mhm.
with like-minded people.
Mhm.
And I think I've just been blessed with that, having a couple of partners that we work with in building great businesses, I would imagine. But
Mhm.
for us, it's just been, just unbelievable respect amongst each other,
Mhm.
trusting each other, and
Mhm.
be very, people appreciate honesty, and they
Mhm.
appreciate you being upfront,
Sure.
in terms of,
Yes.
be very clear with
Mhm.
the goals on where you guys are going to, how you guys are going to operate. And I
Mhm.
always tell people that partnership is like marriage. You win some fights and you lose some, but
Mhm.
all of you are on the same team,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
got to keep going.
Mhm.
And, you may not see the wisdom of what another partner is saying today.
Mhm.
And in as much as it doesn't hurt the business,
Mhm.
and it is not out of legal terms, why not try what they're saying,
Mhm.
putting your evidence. See, so for us it's been very successful, and
Okay.
over time both of you start reasoning together.
Mm.
You bounce off ideas, and it really just goes. And when folks get to trust in each other and say, you know what, you know we are on the same team and we're working towards the same goal, it becomes much easier. So
Mhm.
partnership is definitely something which I encourage, whether it's family, whether
Mhm.
it's with friends, whether it's with an acquaintance.
Mhm.
It does work. But off the bat, you got to be honest about it. You got to be very clear about expectations, and you got to put your heart and your mind in it as well.
Mm. So, I remember at the grand opening,
Opening, right?
yes, you had some really good food there. And I was curious about it because I don't think I really ever got a chance to look at the menu. So, what you served for your grand opening, is that everything that, I mean, are those items that are on your menu? Because the steak was really, really good.
Right, right,
Mm-hmm.
right. Well, we do because, again, we kind of our menu, because in a restaurant or entertainment, your food, your music is really the function of the culture you're trying to to foster within that restaurant. So we have we have a very, not a traditional menu. We don't have 40 things in our menu
Right.
because we think that is good. How you could go to a restaurant, they give you a menu, you're more confused than than when you walked in, right? And we
Yeah.
thought about that, and I say, there's a 20-80 rule which says that 20% of what you sell makes 80% of the profit, right? So why don't you just focus on the 20% and
Wait a
double
minute,
down?
say that again. Say that again. 20%
Right,
of what you sell is
right,
80% of the profit.
of the profit that you make.
So you just said some math, and so can you please please.
Right. It's really a business rule, which or a business terminology, which really says that if you follow data most of the time, even in Walmart, in Target, or everything, 80% of their profit comes to 20% of their products. So
Okay.
80% of their profit. So the top 20% sell so high and way above the bottom 80%.
Okay. Okay.
So, traditionally or modern businesses really just focus on 20%, right? And double down on 20% and work on that. And because it saves you 80% of inventory, it saves you 80% of data or 80% of stuff that you're supposed to worry about. And that has been our model as well. And so far so good. Our menu only has about 8 stuff on it. You have our suya, the grilled beef, which is, I would imagine, it is been, I think it's one of the most popular.
Yeah, if that's what I had at the grand opening, yeah,
It is.
that was
It is.
fabulous.
Right. Our grilled beef is so popular. It's so spicy. It comes with the typical African spice and everything. So that is what it is made of, and everybody enjoys it. We have that, and then we have our oxtail, which is great as well. Then we have our salmon, which is
Okay.
becoming increasingly popular.
Oh,
And we have our salmon. Then we have a whole range of wings with different flavors. Onion rings as well. So that's the 4 pillars of our menu. Then you have sides like our all popular jollof rice.
Okay.
And we have, of course, fries and fried potatoes, what we'll call dodo. And
So what's for
that is
dessert? What's for dessert?
uh
I usually have dessert first. Yeah, that's me.
so it's and it's a range of menu which we have gotten excellent feedback from the menu. And that is our core stuff that we do provide. But we have a very open mind as a new business, because as a business you have to let the data drive you. So if you keep folks come and they want a particular meal and we see that as data for it, then we're going to add it into the menu. But so far so good. It appears that we nailed the menu. The folks love it. And we also have grilled fish, which is either tilapia or mackerel. And so we'll provide we have salad as well, a house salad, which is awesome. We also provide cheesecake,
Oh, see, I like cheesecake.
yeah, so stuff like that. But we have a very precise, a very concise menu, and that everyone that walks into that space at least has something that it could enjoy. And we really just focus on it to make it the best. To
Okay.
absolutely make it the best. It's not a whole lot of menu, so there's really no room for failure. If you
Yeah.
have 10 things on your menu, there is no room for failure.
Right.
And
Right.
that is our mantra.
Hey, I make a mean sweet potato pie. So if you can add that to the menu, we can do some business together.
We can actually. We definitely can.
Yes.
Right.
Well, listen, one of the things you mentioned that I really did want to touch on, you mentioned mentors. See, part of this show, the reason why I do this show is to provide advice for future entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs that need help. And I believe that mentorship is very important when it comes to starting, running, and growing a business. Who are your mentors?
Well, the strange thing is, one of my biggest mentors in current memory is actually my partner, Valerie Holmes. It's a guy who had dabbled in business for a long time. He was born a businessman, very savvy, very experienced. But more importantly, he is very gracious and generous with his mind and with his, with his gift. I would say. So to me, I think it's been one of the biggest blessings I had.
Mm-hmm.
From moving away from that, I grew up in a home where I had a business mom throughout, and it wasn't, big business, but it was really, really small business. The idea of,
Mm-hmm.
buying and selling, the
Mm-hmm.
idea of, holding yourself accountable, promising the public that you're going to deliver this stuff and deliver at time with the same quality, taking feedback and improving. Those were traits that were imbibed in me by my mom for, while I was young, growing up. And, it really just helped me to be able to transcend into that.
Mm-hmm.
But, fast forward, years later, I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to open a business. Kevin with Swahili Village was also very inspirational to us.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about business people, in my experience, is that they are very generous with knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Now the problem is that our community or the folks around don't just ask for help. And
Okay.
many are times where young folks come to me and they say, okay, they want to do this, they want to do this. I said, what you're doing right now is really the first step, is
Mm-hmm.
asking for help. I have
Mm-hmm.
this idea, I have the drive. What do I do? I may not give you the answer, but I may not be the last person that you talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Keep reaching out, keep asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
So because folks are open, there are still good people around in,
Mm-hmm.
in, in this world. You just need to find them.
Mm-hmm.
So mentorship is very important, and folks who know me or my friends will tell you I have a simple phrase, and I always say, a blessing is never completed until
Yeah.
it's passed along.
Yeah.
It's been a
Oh.
powerful driving force for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so the folks that come up to me, call me and everything, they'll tell you whatever you need to know about business, opening a lounge, opening a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, something which you have my unending attention. And we would provide what support you may need.
Mm-hmm.
So I think mentorship is very important because, the people that go ahead of you,
Mm-hmm.
make the mistakes so that you shouldn't make those same mistakes,
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
if you have folks in your ecosystem that are
Mm-hmm.
making the same mistakes that you made earlier, then that is not a good place to be. You should be
Mm-hmm.
able to, to support people and for everybody to succeed, because once you have a strong ecosystem in the business community, you are strong as well. You
Okay.
know, I
Mm-hmm.
may get stuck and I tell them like, you know what, I need help, with access to capital. I
Mm-hmm.
need help with this, I need help with this. And if you're surrounded with the right people, which you have helped along the way in the
Mm-hmm.
past,
Mm-hmm.
definitely is something which you're going to benefit from as well. So I do encourage mentorship. I do encourage folks to seek for help and ask for help. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely open to that for anybody watching.
Yeah.
This free consulting
Yeah.
anytime, any day. You got it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Take advantage of that for real.
Absolutely.
You mentioned that you were in Baltimore,
Hmm.
and
I
so
miss
you
Baltimore.
had, what'd you say?
I said I miss Baltimore City.
You miss Baltimore? Okay, well, if that's where
Even though I love Prince George's County
I know you
more.
love Prince George's County. You
I
better
live in
love
I
Prince
live
George's.
in Prince George's County. I
Oh,
have
good.
businesses over there, but we got some
Yes,
good
yes.
people over at Baltimore City.
Yeah, yeah. But you were working in Baltimore. So that was your full-time job. Now,
Yes.
or is your business now your full-time job?
Yes, it is.
I
So
love it. Mm-hmm.
right. So, my background is human resources, like I said, and I worked in the private sector for a while, but was blessed with a good with the job. I pretty much at a Baltimore City as an HR business partner, and I worked there for 4 years, seven, three mayors. I
Mm-hmm.
started when um, Mayor Stephanie Rollins Blake was mayor, moved
Mm-hmm.
over to Catherine Pugh, moved over to
All
Jag
right.
Young.
Yeah.
So it was a wonderful place to work, and we did some really good work, and that's why when Jennifer with Reaching Within was speaking, it really aligned with me because we
Mm-hmm.
organized symposium, help folks write resumes, help folks trying to get jobs, trying to keep those jobs. It was my job in hiring and coaching folks.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really good. And then um, I stumbled on a book that said, "Well, what do you do with your time after 4 p.m.?" And I started thinking. And I was like, oh, after 4 p.m., I'm chilling, I'm watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
And they went further to say, well, the difference between, most, you know, you know, business owners and folks who are trying to get in business is the time between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. And that stuck with me, because it was exactly my situation. I had a good job, very secured in so many ways. understood the job, loved it. And after 4 p.m., I'm home having a good time. And to 10 p.m., I go to bed and pray for the next day. So that kind of stuck with me. And I was like, what do I do with my time between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m.?
Right.
And that was a voice that kept going. And 6 months later, Spectrum Lounge was born, pretty much. And that just, took off, and juggled within both of them, a full-time job and a business, and the business just kept going and going and going. And I said to myself, it is not easy, but I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do both of them again because I have a family, and I want to make sure that before I quit my full-time job, I'm certain about my business. And I said, I'm gonna give myself a year to go through a full cycle.
Yes.
So I started our business in August 4th, actually, in 2018. And by July 2019, I quit. And I just had a promotion like 6 months earlier.
Wow. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. You took the leap of faith and you kept going. That's awesome. That's awesome. Listen, I'm wishing you much success on your business, on the Famous Lounge, and all that you do. I expect great things, and I expect good food, and I expect good drinks, and I expect
Absolutely.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to patronizing your establishment.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's beautiful inside. It's a nice atmosphere.
Thank you.
And with your HR background, I'm sure that means that you are keeping your employees happy, because
Absolutely.
any organization's
Right.
best asset is their employees.
No, 100%. You're right about that.
Yes. They look happy when I was there. So
Absolutely.
yeah, but listen, thank you so much for coming on. Anybody who wants to come out to the Famous Lounge, what's the address?
Right. So again, our most popular platform is IG. We have our IG right here on the screen. Famous Lounge, the US, AU, Texas. We are extremely responsive on IG and Facebook, which is pretty much Famous Lounge on Facebook as well. The address is 5010 Brown Station Road. We are on Suite 150 in Upper Marlboro, MD. The zip code is 20732, something like that.
Oh, and wait, one more thing. I wanted to know, does the Famous Lounge do catering services for?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Not at this time. And because we're really just trying to meet our capacity. But at a certain point in time, we will.
Yes. Okay, good. You should come talk to me, because we can start doing business with the county government.
Okay, good stuff.
And I can help you with that. Okay.
Absolutely. And just to put it out there, the county executive is actually bringing her birthday to Famous Lounge on March 24th. The county executive is actually bringing her birthday to Famous Lounge.
Her birthday?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Day?
March 24th.
Look at that. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure you're gonna have an invite
for her, right? Yeah.
Right. So we're so thankful, to the community, for supporting us. Folks come in there and they give us ideas all the time on what we should do to improve our business. It means a lot to us. We don't take that for granted 1 second, because we wanted to build a business for the community. That's our mantra. And that's why when we have all sorts of folks coming in with deals about, oh, I want to do this and charge at the door, and I'm like, no, you're not going to charge our customers at the door. That's not going to happen. Because we put our customers first, and we value them a whole lot.
That's awesome. I'm grateful for you. I'm glad you're here. Okay.
Thank you.
And we wish you much success. And sometime we'll have you back on again in the future.
Thank you so much, Denise. Thank you for this platform. I appreciate the work you do. And you're building the community. Born and bred, grown here. You're leading this community, and we are so thankful to have folks like you. Not only leading by example, but also creating a platform to give the small guys like us a voice. So we're so thankful for that.
Thank you so much. You have a good evening, and I'll see you soon over there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. I want to say thank you to both my guests. They were such great guests with such great advice. Jennifer Bryant from Reaching Within, and NJ a song from the famous lounge, which I am so excited to be having in my own backyard. I am just going to say goodnight and thank you all for watching. Please share this video. Please follow me on Instagram at Vote Denise Smith. And please share this program with all of your friends. Tell everyone about the famous lounge. Tell everyone about Jennifer Bryant, who is a careers coach here in Prince George's County, especially for women, but I'm sure she will help you too if you're not a woman as well. And I'm going to say goodnight. Thanks again.